Hello, it's Monday, April the 12th, and trust that you are well. And we are in the prophet Isaiah, and we are this week in chapters 5 and 6. Chapters 1 to 5 of Isaiah form a kind of preface to the book, and in chapter 6 we'll see the beginning of Isaiah's ministry as such, his call, the famous meeting of Isaiah with the holiness of God in chapter 6, but we'll get there on Wednesday and Thursday. But today we're in chapter 5, and chapter 5 begins with the first 7 verses with what in some ways looks like a parable. He calls it a love song in verse 1, and it's about a vineyard, and the vineyard, of course, is a euphemism for Israel, for God's Old Testament church, his people. And it's about a vine dresser who plants a vineyard, and he goes looking for grapes, but finds instead sour grapes, wild grapes. And it's a depiction of what's happened to God's people in the 8th century, that they're not producing fruit. They're producing wild fruit. And he asks a question in verse 4, what more was there to do for my vineyard that I have not done in it? What more could God have done? And it's a kind of anticipation, really, of Paul's words in Ephesians, that he has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places. And what should our response be to what God has done for us? And our response, of course, should be that of obedience. God wants obedience. He brought his people out of bondage in Egypt, and brought them to Mount Sinai and gave them the 10 Commandments. Having received the forgiveness that is depicted in Passover, he then wants a grateful, thankful heart, and he can't find it in the 8th century. So God is looking for fruit. He's looking for fruit in his church. He's looking for fruit in his people, in you and me. And the question is he finding it? And verse 4 of Isaiah chapter 5 is one that haunts you. What more could God have done for us? Well, that's Isaiah 5, 1 through 7. I trust you have a wonderful day.